every week we like to try to wind things down a little bit by sharing some good news, something that's got us like happy to be alive these days or optimistic. And I got one. This one's a little bit touchy, but I got to share it because I'm just personally really excited. So my favorite musician is Ryan Adams. He's this Americana rock star. He's been around since the 90s. He used to be in a band called Whiskey Town, and he has like 20 solo records that he put out in the 2000s, which is an unreasonable amount of records. But he got canceled in 2019. He got wrapped up in a Me Too story in the New York Times, and has since been hiding for like 2 years since that happened. He poked his head out of a hole, and he's finally going to be putting out new music. He's got his canceled record, Big Colors, coming out on June 11th of this year. And I sort of like live and breathe Ryan Adams music, and I'm very excited.
So what did he do? How bad was it?
It was not good. It was actually it was pretty bad. So like, this is not a story where like someone was canceled for doing
Unfairly,
nothing.
yeah.
Cancel culture.
He was exploiting young female musicians, dangling success in front of them and sleeping with them. And it was really ugly. And there was some other stuff in there that was like accusations that were unproven. But I mean, I think he really screwed up, and he really, really messed up and tarnished his career. For me, like, the question has been like, well, what happens next, right? Like, that's sort of the thing with cancel culture and also Me Too, is when do you re-enter life from purgatory? Especially like if you didn't do something technically criminal where you serve time. Like, you have to be able to go out and do the thing again. Nobody has to hire you. Nobody has to hire Kevin Spacey to actually do a movie, and I don't think they will for a long time. But like a musician, you either make art or you die. Like, there's nothing else for a musician to do.
I can definitely relate to that. Of course, what he did was wrong, but I kind of relate it to the Chris D'Elia situation where he was canceled for a very similar reason, but it wasn't even as bad, but essentially he was canceled for having a constant string of affairs, basically with young girls, legal girls, on his tours. But he would basically, hop from city to city, kind of lie to these girls and be like, oh, like, I'll come sleep with you and we'll be together, but then just, ghost them and moves on. So he's hurting a lot of feelings. He's breaking a lot of hearts. He's being a general piece of crap. Slime bag. But is what he did illegal? No. Should he be banned from comedy forever? No. And I'm not even a fan. I'm really not familiar with a lot of his work. But like you said, he's an artist. What else would he do? What is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to go to jail? Is he supposed to be in hiding forever? I don't know.
And I also look at this like, I don't even care as much about these individuals as much as I care about the consumers and the fans. Like, I loved House of Cards. I'm still going to rewatch the series with Kevin Spacey and enjoy it. I loved Glee, one of my favorite shows of all time, and one of the actors there actually is being sentenced for really horrendous child pornography charges. I'm still going to watch the show and enjoy it and enjoy his character.
Yeah, I mean, and like Ryan Adams, like, his transgressions made it hard for me to listen to his music for a while, like, because you couldn't disconnect from, life, and you couldn't just unwind with his music anymore, listen to Heartbreaker and just like forget about it, because once it happens, it happens.
But it's like, why take joy from millions of people away? I mean, there's a Woody Allen movie featuring my favorite actor, Timothée Chalamet, that's never been released. They recorded it, and then he was canceled, and then they decided not to release it. And I'm like, there's millions of people who would enjoy this movie. You already put all the investment in. I say you just release it. I don't understand this stuff.
My good news this week is Big Colors from Ryan Adams is coming out. I'm really excited to hear it, and I'm excited to see someone try to turn things around and turn the page on their life. I want to hand it to you. Like, what are you happy about this week?
Yeah, look, I have a weird take in politics that I'm usually anti-bipartisanship. Usually when the parties can agree on something, it means they're about to waste your money, raise your taxes, or limit your rights.
You're a good libertarian.
But my good news is I actually think there could be some good bipartisan progress coming out of Congress in the next couple of weeks after the George Floyd verdict, which I know we already talked about. But the criminal justice reform is happening on the Hill with Republicans like Senator Tim Scott, who are widely respected among the caucus, and then senators like Cory Booker, who have a lot of purchase among the Democratic side of the aisle. They're coming together for talks on real reforms, not a virtue signaling bill, not a far left bill with poison pills, but banning chokeholds, reforming qualified immunity, stuff that could actually save people's lives in the future, or at least limit abuse of police power. So I think that's a bright side.
I'm all for it. That sounds like good bipartisanship.
That sounds great. I mean, I don't know if I hold the same opinion on you as, just very negative on bipartisanship. But as you said earlier, it seems like the only thing that Democrats and Republicans can agree on is to spend more of our money. So that's an interesting point.
Criminal justice reform than another spending bill or tax hike.
Right, and I'm a fan of Tim Scott, so I think he'll do a good job on that.
You gotta have a give and take. Olivia, what are you happy about?
So this is a weird story. It started off really bad, then ended up kind of having a somewhat happy ending. So I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of drama on Twitter in the last couple of days, or if you know who Tariq Nasheed is. He's a really popular, essentially a race baiter. He's a grifter. He makes a lot of money just accusing people of white supremacists. He's accused black friends of mine of being a white supremacist just because they voted for Trump.
Yeah.
So that's just some context on who he is. 2 days ago, he reposted a video on his Twitter feed, which has about 250,000 followers. He has a pretty large platform, of a young man who worked at a Holiday Inn having a mental breakdown at the desk while an instigator, who happened to be a black man, was filming, yelling at him, basically making veiled threats at him. And before the recording even started, it was revealed later that he was hurling homophobic slurs at him. And the young man on the camera is clearly under mental distress. He literally starts crying and hits himself in the head and says, "I can't do this, I have to go, I'm having a mental breakdown." This man posts it on the internet for the world to see, basically claims that this kid is a white supremacist because he didn't want to have good customer service for this black guy who was filming him, instigating him, and caused him to have a mental breakdown. Later on, the kid posts on Reddit that he suffers from BPD, and as well as schizoaffective disorder, and that's what caused his mental breakdown. And he was having a rough time that day and says that he was gay, and the man called him the F slur. So this caused a lot of drama on Twitter initially. Tariq Nasheed got completely ratioed. Basically, the left and right came together. People of all political, leanings kind of came together and started bombing him. And this YouTuber who I'm really not familiar with, The Quartering, I've heard a lot of controversial things. I've heard a lot of controversial things about him. I won't comment on that because I'm not familiar with him. But he is known for doing a lot of GoFundMes for people who have been basically canceled or dragged on the internet. So he launches this GoFundMe for this guy. And last time I checked, it raised $13,000 when I donated. That was yesterday, so I'm guessing it's like pretty high now. But in the end, this kid has received a lot of support. Tariq Nasheed is receiving a lot of well-deserved criticism. And honestly, I really dislike the guy. I posted under his original post where he posted this really horrifying video that he was disgusting and that he should take it down. But all in all, I really enjoyed seeing, every side of political Twitter come together, donate to support this kid, and he ended up leaving Holiday Inn, so he's set for a while.
Well, that sounds like accountability to me.